Sam, you've been considered one of the leading figures in AI. You co-founded OpenAI, which led to ChatGPT, which is celebrating 3 years now.
Yeah.
ChatGPT. When all this is happening, first off, what is ChatGPT? Can we just do that for anyone? If my dad's probably watching
It's like an AI chatbot. You ask a question, it tells you what to do.
And it tells you what to do. And so it's like Google search, but you made it into more of a thing that you can have a conversation with.
Yeah, it's gotten like much smarter over the last 3 years. So it used to not do very much. Maybe it used to only do Google search, and now it can like really do a lot of stuff. People are asking it for like healthcare advice, how to learn stuff.
Yeah, tell me what are the pros of ChatGPT?
The number of people that reach out to us and are like, I had this crazy health condition. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I just put my symptoms into ChatGPT and it told me what test to ask the doctor for, and I got it, and now I'm cured. Like, that's great. That happens a lot.
Wow.
You can definitely learn anything.
Anything?
Pretty much. I haven't found anything I can't learn. You can do your work way faster. You can use it instead of Google. You can use it for like advice about your life. People talk about all the people in their life and trying to figure out what to do. The idea is it's like a general purpose sort of life advisor.
Yeah. And I know that you and your husband just had a baby. Congratulations.
We did. Thank you.
Yeah. How old?
Thank you.
How old is he?
8 months.
8 months old?
Yeah.
Are you loving him?
So much.
It's the greatest thing in the world.
I have no non-cliche thing to say, but it is by far so much better than anything anyone tells you. I am just so incredibly happy.
Is he into trucks?
Yeah, he loves trucks. We have to like spend a lot of time watching the garbage
Boys
truck
love
and play them
trucks.
around. He does love trucks.
He loves garbage trucks too?
Cars,
Why?
anything.
They
We
just-
watched the like F1 season finale this week, and it was the first time he got to watch TV. And he was like,
Oh, really?
really, yeah.
He's
It was pretty
thrilled.
cool.
And do you use ChatGPT when raising your baby?
I do. I mean, I feel kind of bad about it because we have this like genius level at everything intelligence sitting there like waiting to unravel the mysteries of humanity. And I'm like, why does my kid stop dropping his pizza on the floor and laughing? Like,
Yeah.
You know?
And
so I feel like I'm not asking a good enough question, but it is, I cannot imagine having gone through the, like figuring out how to raise a newborn without ChatGPT. Clearly people did it for a long time, no problem.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
so I know
It did.
it's clearly was possible.
Yes, it was possible.
But I have relied on it so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously like the most important thing to happen in my life, so it's top of mind, and I use it all the time. But like, I was a couple of months ago, I was at a party. I was talking to this guy, and we had kids about the same age, so we were talking about that. And he was like, "Oh, what's your kid doing?" Normal conversation. And he's like, "Yeah, these 6 months old, once they start crawling, it's everywhere. They go everywhere." And I was like, "My 6-month-old can't crawl yet." And he was like, "You sure? Like, maybe." He's like, "You sure about that? You think he's okay?" And I was like,
Mine can't.
I was like, well, I think he's like about to start. I'm sure he's doing fine. And by the way, I bet my kid can do a lot of things yours can't, so it's all right. But then I like ran to the bathroom and I was like, do I need to take my kid to like the doctor tomorrow morning? Like, is this okay?
Should every kid be able to walk at 6 months? Yeah.
Yeah, crawl.
Crawl.
And I mean, yours can.
No, mine walked at
Right.
Yeah.
But
Mine was on Dancing with the Stars at 7 months.
there we go.
Semi-finalist, no big deal.
But it was a really, I got this like great answer back, which was like, of course it's normal. Of course you don't need to go to the doctor. Parents do all these sorts of things. And by the way, and it's personalized, like ChatGPT gets to know you. And by the way, you're the CEO of OpenAI, you probably are around like all these high achieving people. Maybe you don't want to like project that onto your kid, and you should just like relax and he'll be fine and whatever. And I was like, oh, okay.
I've seen you in a couple of interviews too where you were saying, people were asking you about ChatGPT and you're like, well, it's kind of interesting because rich people have these great, amazing doctors and lawyers and business managers, whereas people that don't make enough, as much money as these people, they don't get those opportunities. And what ChatGPT does, they have you can get the same answer. You're just typing in these questions, you'll get the best.
No, I think this is a cool thing about technology. I think there's many downsides to technology, but there's a lot of upsides. And one of the big upsides is it is a sort of equalizing force in many ways. I remember people used to say this when the iPhone came out.
Yeah.
The richest, most powerful person in the world got the same piece of hardware that was, billions of other people got. And I think AI is pushing in the same direction, and it'll take some work to ensure it goes in this way, but it should be like a good force for society.
So what about ChatGPT now? What is the cons? What are we worried about? What are the things that people don't like about it?
I mean, a long list of things, but One of the things that I'm worried about is just the rate of change that's happening in the world right now. This is a 3-year-old technology. No other technology has ever been adopted by the world this fast. It is a truly general purpose thing. The same thing that can figure out how to go cure a bunch of diseases can be used in a bunch of negative ways. The rate at which jobs will change over may be pretty fast. I have no doubt that we'll figure out all new jobs to do and sort of, I hope, much better jobs. But the speed with which this is happening, as this just sort of like barrels through society, and making sure that we introduce this to the world in a responsible way where people have time to adapt, to give input, and to figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
You could imagine us getting that wrong.
Yeah, and are people on it?
Yeah, again, this has gone really well so far, better than I would have thought. If you look at the trajectory of the last 3 years, we have integrated this into our lives, into society. People use it in all sorts of really great ways. And we've been able to get, so far, a lot of the benefits. And I think we've done a good, thoughtful job as a society of mitigating the downsides. But we're still feeling our way through this. And I'm sure as the intelligence keeps ramping, there will be a lot more to come.
And when do you think it's all going to be perfected?
I hope never.
Yeah.
I hope just we have we as the human species, we have this relentless drive to improve and make things better and to want more and to do more and to create more. And I hope that keeps going forever. But if you just look at how far it's come even this year, in 2025, we started this year with these models that could do a little bit of math. By the end of the year, we're doing better math than our best mathematicians at our most difficult competitions.
Where's all the information coming from?
Well, at this point, it generates a lot of its own information. If you think about when you solve a new problem or write something funny, you draw upon your past experiences, you think really hard, you write something down, maybe you see how it goes, you see how someone responds, you see if it works, and then you build on top of that and on top of that and on top of that. So we're at the point now where the models can think harder and come up with new information.
And what's the biggest thing you see happening out of ChatGPT in the next 5 years?
5 years is a long time. In 5 years, I think a lot. Next year, I hope we'll start to see these models really make small but important new scientific discoveries. And in 5 years, I hope they're curing diseases.
Thank you so much for coming on and talking about this stuff. I appreciate this. And please
Thanks for having me.
Hug that little baby.
I will do that.
Sam Altman, everybody. We'll be right back with more Tonight Show. Stick around.